Hello, everyone. Can you see me and can you hear me? Please put something in the chat so I can find out if you can hear me and if you can actually see me. I see there are 3 people logged on, but let's see. Okay. I'm in the chat right now. Click on the chat and see if you're responding. I want to make sure this thing is working. We are now live. I'm just checking here what I got. And yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing anyone here. Excellent. I finally had someone who replied. Thank you, Roxanne. Excellent. So the link is working fine from what I see. Is this correct? So, Roxanne, you said you can see me, but can you hear me? Interesting. How is it for 2 hours from now? That doesn't make sense. Oh, no. That's not good. I guess they have a different timeline. Yeah, but I'm not on Facebook because I am currently on YouTube, so I'm not on Facebook, but I will go check. Well, I did say 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why YouTube is doing this. This is my first live stream. Who else is in the chat? Please, if you're in the chat, identify yourself so that we can see who you are and know who you are. This is very important. It's nice to know who's on. I only see 2 people on right now. I'm going to manage this. I'm going to click manage. Oh, it's not allowing me to click. Pop out dashboard. Hey, look at that. I have a pop out dashboard. No, this is not allowing me. Switch accounts, select stream. Yes, I'm on live. This is very strange that it's only telling me. Oh, darn. I'm guessing that, mind you, I did send everyone the excellent Tukes. Sought Legion shot. Sought. Excellent. So people are seeing me, which is good. I like that. Okay, I'm still new to this, so thank you very much. Excellent. We got that. There we go. So, Sought Legion Sought. Who are you and where are you from? Please, I'd like for you to identify yourself so I know where you're from. Hello, Maria. How are you? Good to see you on board. Thanks for coming. That's awesome. Oh, Sot from Gatineau. Welcome aboard. Thank you for coming out. This is great. This is the first live YouTube feed. Apparently there's a problem with the time zones. I will correct that in the next feed. But for the people who are here and for the people who will be joining, this is a Q&A question session where we'll be dealing with questions and answers, obviously about how I plan to break a Guinness World Record. Yes, it's official. I am going to be breaking a world record drum marathon, which means that I have to play drums consistently. Mind you, there's a 5-minute break per hour of drumming. But the current record is 150 hours and 1 minute. So that is quite amazing. And the reason I'm doing this is number one is to raise awareness of autism. I am now 50 years old. I was diagnosed autistic at the age of 47. Now, I was proposed that I would get checked when I was about, oh goodness, I think I was 39 years old or something like that, 38, when it was suggested that I get tested for that, and I declined. And in 2022, while I had a very bad mental breakdown, and I spoke to my doctor, and I finally went to get tested, and that explained a lot. Now, autism is not something that a lot of people know about, including me, because I'm still new to this, even though it's been 2 years. And when someone suggested to me that I get tested for autism, my first thought was, well, no, I can speak. I'm pretty intelligent. And, I've been able to adapt to society, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, this is nothing. And then when I finally got diagnosed, I was seeing a psychologist. um I knew what autism was, and it was not in a definition that I thought it was, because there is no definitive definition for it, because it is a spectrum. Just like the light spectrum, it is all over the place. There are different ranges of autism. So I tested on the high IQ, good memory for certain things, hyper focusing. Certain social aspects of me aren't doing so well, meaning, yeah, I've been masking all these years and I've been doing stuff on stage with musicians. I've done charity stuff my entire life. And anyway, so I thought this would be great, a great opportunity to show what autistic people can do, and to actually bring real education to what autism is. And it's just a different way of thinking. It would be like comparing an iPhone to an Android phone. It's exactly what it is, or Windows to Mac. That's exactly what it is. We're just on a different operating system. It doesn't mean we're any worse or any better than anyone else. It's just the way we are, right? We operate on a different operating system. And at the same time, I wanted to bring awareness to that. And at the same time, pardon me, I wanted to raise funds for Ability Dogs Canada, because they do have an autism program where they have dogs who are trained to help people who have autism. Sorry, who are autistic. We don't have autism, we are autistic. It is actually a gene. It's not something you catch or get. So that's what this is. So um this is exactly what this Q&A is about, and I would really appreciate questions on how I am going to play drums for well over 150 hours. It's quite interesting, because I'll go through the guidelines. So the guidelines, according to the Guinness World Records, which has accepted my application, is that for every 1 hour of playtime on the drums, I get a 5-minute break. It's not a lot, especially considering that I have to beat over 150 hours. My goal is 162. Now, for every hour I play, I get a 5-minute break, and I can accumulate those breaks. So if I played for 6 hours, let's say, that would give me 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that would give me, for 6 hours of play, I get a 30-minute break. Now, in that 30 minutes, I can do whatever I want, but the clock actually stops when I take a break. There is going to be a clock running, and that's how it works. And when I'm playing the drums, I have to play to some recognizable songs. So these are songs that have to be known by people. So I'm going to have tracks playing that have no drums in them, and I'm playing along. So it's kind of like karaoke for drums. That's pretty much what it is. Um, I cannot repeat the songs within a 4 hour period, and there can't be more than 30 seconds between each song. So that gives you a little bit of an insight on what I have to do. Now, according to how this works, it'll be done at the Brass Monkey at 250 Greenbank in Ottawa, starting February 28th at 12 noon sharp, is when I'm going to start doing this. And I'm going to end it, and I say I will end it when I beat the world record. So we're expecting to be ended by February 7th is when we're expecting to end this. And well, I'm going to be there for the whole time. I won't be going anywhere. I'm just going to be sitting behind the kit, doing what I can. If I can gather a 45-minute break, then we'll do I might take a 15 or 20-minute nap and grab some good vegetables and stuff and get right back on stage and keep going at it. So that's the gist of it right now. I'm going to go back to the chat and see if there's any questions. So one of the questions from Tukes is, could we have people join in and do karaoke with you and have people sing or play instruments with you? That's a really good question. I have asked Guinness that question because part of my plan was to have musicians join me now and then on stage and play along with me to a track. Now, Guinness does say in the guidelines that I can't be jamming and I can't improvise, but I don't know what their version of jamming means. So I did ask them the question on my Guinness account if I can have people come up and play along with their instruments or sing or whatever as I'm playing a certain track. I have yet to get an answer on that. So I hope that answers your questions. Any other questions, please? Let's do this. Rico Suave asks, am I going to be wearing gloves to to protect my delicate hands? Well, Rico, let me tell you this, Mr. Suave. I'm also a motorcycle mechanic. I own a motorcycle shop, and my hands are far from delicate. And I've been playing drums for well over 30 years. So the calluses have been very well built. No, I don't wear gloves. I've never worn gloves. It impedes on how I play because I do a lot of different styles of music. I do progressive stuff. I'll do jazz, fusion, funk, rock, classic rock, you name it, country. I play it all, and I really like to feel the sticks. So I've never played with gloves, and I never will. So I hope that answers your question, Rico. So Sot Legion Sot said, do you have enough personnel to support you during these hours? Thank you for that question. That is an amazing question. Right now, we are still building the team. And how it's going to work is, well, to answer your question first, no, we don't have enough people yet. We need volunteers because we need all the time certain officials that I name have to be on site all the time. So number one is we have to have two people there at all times to maintain the clock. I'm going to have a clock running that tells us how many hours I've been playing. Now that clock is stopped when I take a break and then restart it, but there has to be two people there, okay, to operate that clock at all times. Same thing with a logger. I need someone there to log everything in a document according to Guinness guidelines that'll be logging the amount of time I played. I took a break at such amount of time, got back on at a certain time, all that stuff. Now, these people are going to work in a 4-hour shift, rotational shift, 24/7. So we're still looking for people who are going to do that, and I will be addressing that online because it is a really good question. I really appreciate you asking because it's important that we get enough people to fill in those 24 hours a day in a 4-hour time frame period. And of course, because it's volunteer work, and we always sort of need to double up on that. So no, we don't have enough volunteers yet, but if we can get the word out to get more volunteers in, that would be fabulous. They work in a 4-hour shift. I want people to, number one is we're going to need people for the clock. Number two is we're going to need a logger. Number three, it would be really nice if I could have a drum technician being someone who's just there to help me. If I break a snare head or a bass drum head, now I'm going to have two drum kits, but it'd be nice to have someone who could swap out for me, stuff like that, because I'm going to bring extra drums with me and an extra kit that I can swap out to. But it would be nice to have someone there who can help me change a drum head, or if a cymbal breaks or something, we can take it off. I'm going to need people who are going to man, or let's just say operate, the video cameras, the audio stuff that I'm going to be playing and stuff like that. So there's quite a need for a lot of people. Thank you very much for that question. That was an amazing question, and I hope that answers your questions. If it didn't, please ask another one. So Rico Suave said, I just changed the oil in his Harley. That's awesome. You're welcome, Rico. Pierre Lacroix asked, any personnel from Guinness will be there? No. So Guinness is actually asking me to provide the evidence. That's why I read the guidelines. And with the guidelines, I have to have people that I myself will be naming as officials. Number one is for the clock, and officials for the logging. Those are the two most important positions aside from my management team, who will manage the people. But these are the people who are going to manage this. Once this is all over, these people have to make sure that the clock, the videos, all the documentation is put together as per the guidelines, because it is important that we all adhere to the Guinness guidelines, which means a lot of documentation and stuff. I've got a lot of computers here. I've got 3 computers. They're going to be all with me on site all the time to take care of all this. I am a powerhouse of computing and audio works and all that. So that'll all be taken care of. But then what it is, all this stuff. So the video recordings of this entire event and all this has to be recorded, video and audio, all the logs and all the paperwork and all that stuff sent to Guinness via online, has to be uploaded to the Guinness page via my account on Guinness World Records, and they will then look at that and then authenticate it. So no, they don't do that anyways, because there's so many people breaking records around the world that it's hard for them to do that. So that was a great question, and I appreciate that, because that is something that a lot of people don't understand. Thank you for asking that one, Pierre. I'm going to go to another question. Maria Clow wrote, I volunteer for you and Mariah too. We'll talk to you later. And I thank you so much. You know what? The volunteering is what's going to make this happen. It's all for a good cause. And I couldn't thank the volunteers and all the people who are currently on my team. I have Samantha Cooper on my team. I have Raina Cooper on my team. I have Stephanie Charon on my team, and the team is going to keep growing because it's important that we do that. We need a lot of volunteers for this. I mean, hey, I want to break a Guinness World Record, but I'm doing it for a good cause. Next, Rico Suave wrote, "Will you be playing along with a PA, and will the kit be mic'd?" To answer that question, Rico Suave, the answer is yes. The kit will be completely mic'd. I am bringing my entire kit plus my secondary kit with my entire recording facilities from my studio so that everything can be digitally audio recorded and video recorded as well. And everything will be mic'd as I play along with the tracks that will be blasting through the PA, and we'll also be blasting that through the PA through the Brass Monkey because they can connect all their PA equipment through mine. So this will allow me to do all that. So that is a great question, and that allows people to come over and watch me drum and play along the songs. Another thing is I'm hoping to do a song request things where, $5 someone can request a song and I will have someone digitally remove the drums and I'll play that song and I'll dedicate it to that person. So maybe Rico Suave might have a few songs that he wants to have dedicated to, maybe someone special. Thanks, Rico. That's a great question. Another question I have: do you have a plan for your health care during this time you're going to be playing the drums? Would it be allowed that you receive IV fluids during the breaks to ensure that you are hydrated? Tukes, that is actually, pardon my language, but that is an incredibly good question. I am going to make sure that I'm extremely hydrated. I'm going to have, I'll have some Gatorade, whatever I need. I plan to have some Ensure and all that stuff. And part of the funding that we want to get will help to sort of buy all that. But, I will be talking to St. John's Ambulance. We know they can't be there all the time, but I will be talking to them because that is a really good question, especially since I'll be on 24/7. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that even though I'm playing along to some music tracks, because I'm playing for such a long period of time, the music track selection that I'm going to select is going to be pretty easy stuff where I don't have to go all wild and nuts. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be playing heavy metal all the time and stuff like that because I need to conserve my energy. I'm not going to play loud, hence another reason why the drums are going to be mic'd, stuff like that. So I am going to keep my drumming technique to sort of a minimalist, but sort of a minimalist so that I'm not burning off that energy, where I'm not sweating buckets at any one time. And I'm able to keep myself hydrated when I play because with volunteers there, it's easy for them to show up every now and then with a bottle of Gatorade and a straw, and I can just sit there and keep playing and actually sip on drinks at the same time. So I am not going to be, exerting so much energy because I need to conserve as much energy as I can, right? So my technique of playing is going to be very mild and very modest. Now, I am going to say that at the end of this, when I do break the record, and I am going to break it, um, I plan to go all out and end out with a big bang where I'm going to be playing probably some Rush and some metal stuff for a few songs. And that'll be a significant ending to saying, I did this, I broke the record, I've hit my limit now, but I'm going to go out with a big bang and I'm really going to push it hard. So that is a really good question. And I thank you for that. And Tukes, you know what? I know who you are. I think you should get a hold of St. John Ambulance. How about that? I'm going to leave that task up to you. Thank you so much for that question. Let's go back and ask another question. Rico Suave wrote, actually, that's a good question. Maybe camelback so you can drink while you play. Muscle cramps suck. Rico, you know what? Thank you. A camelback pack would actually be really a good idea. Yeah, I could just wear that on me and just, sip as I go. Thank you for that suggestion. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna have to look into that. As long as it doesn't, interfere with me playing freely, that's something I can try. I actually happen to know a bicycle shop in Carlton Place named something Mama Cycles. I can go there and ask them if they have any stock that I can try on to see if it actually impedes on my playing. Because when I play drums, I really like to feel free and not restricted. So thank you for that. That's a really good suggestion, Rico. Someone wrote, okay, good. Are you gonna put a time schedule for volunteers so we can put our names to go support also? To put if we can help you like drum repair and other stuff like you need it. Yes. So what I'm going to be doing is once we have all the volunteers set up and we're asking for more, the volunteers will be working, as I said earlier, on a 4-hour schedule. So it's a 4-hour rotation according to Guinness guidelines. Of course, we're going to have some backup volunteers because it is really important because, not everyone can make it all the time. And this is an operation that's running 24/7, right? So this is going to be difficult, but we will have someone who's going to manage the schedule and who is going to have backup in case that someone can't show up. They can have someone else stay a bit longer, whatever. So thank you for that question. Rico Suave wrote, are you planning to change your kit setup for that marathon session to make it more comfortable, toms and crashes as high as usual? No, actually, because my current drum kit is the same setup that I've been pretty much playing for the last well over 20 years. Um, when we play drums, it is important, regardless of what we're doing, that the drum set is set up ergonomically to our liking and to be the most efficient possible in the way of reaching things and where everything is in front of me. I can pretty much play my drum kit blindfolded because I'm so used to that setup, and it took me a while to tailor that setup to the way I like it. And every time I add a drum or to my kit as it has expanded, I make sure not to interfere with anything else and add the extra drums or cymbals or whatever I'm adding on, the extra percussions, whatever, in a way that I know they're not going to interfere and it's easy for me to reach. So the answer to your question is no, I am not changing my drum kit. Hence why I'm also looking for a drum tech because the setup is going to be happening the day before, and it would be really nice to have a drum tech who knows my kit, who can set it up, and I can sit behind it the day before and make sure that everything's flowing properly because I want to do the minimal amount of physical work possible, especially the day before, right? I can't afford to get hurt moving the equipment and all that. So again, that brings me to another thing. We're looking for a moving company who might want to sponsor us, who can come here on January 27th to pick up the equipment that will be taken apart, brought over to the Brass Monkey in Ottawa, and then the team and I, we take care of setting everything up and before the afternoon, having everything done. We hope to have a meet and greet in the afternoon at the Brass Monkey with any news companies who want to be there, any news media, whatever, and people who want to do a meet and greet can ask questions there too. Rico, that is a good question. Answer is no, I'm not changing my setup because it is already optimized to my liking and to my ergonomics. Next question. Are we able to leave a donation at the venue, the Brass, for the cause? Yes, you can actually, because there will be a donation container there that is locked. I have that. And according to Samantha Cooper from Ability Dogs Canada, they will have debit available on site during that, the 150 plus hours that I'm there. So, good question. And thanks for asking that. So, the answer is yes. Rico Suave, how about your stick choice? Lighter for the record attempt? Actually, no. I play Rico. That is a good question. I play with sticks that are made by a company in Italy called Tecra. They are actually carbon fiber sticks, and I will show them to you. I actually have some here. So Tecra makes these carbon fiber sticks. This is who they are. This is Tecra. Carbon fiber sticks, and what they have here on the sleeve is a little bit like a gummy rubber, sticky, not sticky, but it's a rubber super grip is what they call it. So I started with these sticks about 5 years ago, and I never turned back. They work phenomenally well. They have a weight on the end that absorbs the vibrations, even though they're carbon fiber and they're hollow. And they've lasted me, believe it or not, I broke the very first stick 4 years after. So, you know what? I have several of these, and this is what I'm using. I'm using the 2B, which is what I use, and that's all I'm going to use. I've got some pretty big hands, and there's lots of calluses, and this is exactly what I'm going to be using. And I appreciate that question. It's really nice to get some technical questions in here. Another question. SOT Legion wrote, in the venue, will you expect spectators 24/7 during your world ranking record? Well, so Guinness does say that it has to be a public place. Now I do have to have people with me 24/7. But I think that because of what it is, there might be some closing hours. This is something we haven't definitively looked at yet between Scotty Rufo and I, but um, even if they close from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever, I think the drinking law in Ontario is like 10 a.m. when a bar can do that. So it's not that bad. This is a question, and it's a really good question. I appreciate that. Unanswered at the moment. This is something we're going to look at. Thanks, Rico. What's the venue's capacity, and is it all ages? So, I believe now, if I'm correct, hold on. Let me make a quick call while I'm here. Let's do this. Let me make a quick call. See if I can reach Scotty so that we can get the answer. That's the best thing ever. The only way we'll know is, and I'll put him on speaker. Let's see what he says. He might be busy today. He's probably at the venue now. All right. We'll wait. He might call back. I will say 190 to 200 maybe, and all ages. A lot of times, yes, because they also host the Music Academy gigs. So they have younger kids come in from the Music Academy and they do shows there and all that. I think maybe after certain times it's not all ages. That's details we're going to work out. um Excuse me, but that is a good question, and again, it's left to be answered. Thank you for that. That is something we're going to look into. Rico Suave wrote, will the venue be offering bar and kitchen services during normal business hours? FYI, the Brass Monkey does not have a kitchen. They do have a bar, so yes, for the bar. Now, as it comes to food, no, there is a pizzeria above. There's a pho place above, which is serving pho soup for those who don't know that Vietnamese soup. There's also another restaurant on the side. I think it's called Brian's or something like that. So, but I'm going to work out details with those places. Maybe they'll want to help out. So, thank you very much for that question. Anyone else have a question? Okay. So I'm going to take 3 seconds here. Actually, give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to take a 2 minute break. Stay on. Ask me a question. I really got to go to the washroom. My apologies. This is what happens. uh, will the venue we're timing you? Well, how long was I gone, Pierre? Did you time that? How long was I gone? Hey, 55 seconds. That's it. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. And Rico, thank you so much. This is really good that you want to spread this with your friends and family. I think it's awesome. I was expecting a lot more people here, but I think we're having an issue with the time zone. I think YouTube's time zone. I'm looking at this here. Hold on. I'm going through this. I'm going through the settings here. Hold on a minute. Allow automated places, concept, titles, descriptions. Oh, Carlton Place, Ontario. There we go. Let's see. Standard YouTube license. Save. Okay. I'm still checking here. I don't know why it's said. Can't find the it doesn't give me the time zone at all. This is very strange. You know, Rox, this is very strange that it's not giving me the time zone. I don't get why it's not doing that. So, okay. So when you watched, it said 10 p.m. Sought Legion Sought. Okay. Sought Legion Sought. I'm curious who you are. You're out. And so obviously, are you a veteran? Well, Legion Saw, thank you very much for your service. We're coming into November, and this is the month where we dedicate to all the veterans and to those who are currently serving. I can't thank you enough for your service and your dedication. It is phenomenal what you've done, what you do. I can't thank you enough. Courtney Hartwick asks, catheter or diaper? Well, which one do you plan to change? That's the question. Do you want to change the bag or do you want to change the diaper? Which one do you prefer? Let's see how she responds with that. Yes, I'm having a barley sandwich right now because I'm a little nervous being online. So Pierre Lacroix says use the pens. Well, Pierre, I bought some for real, no joke. And I I tried it. And let's just say it does not have enough volume to hold the amount of pee that I have. I must be a camel because I'm not going to lie to you. I tried it for real. And I said, okay, I'm going to sit there and see what it can take, right? It didn't take long before it was running down my leg and my jogging pants were soaked. So the answer to depends is an absolute no. And Courtney, you did not answer my question. All you did was send a laughy face. It's not too much info, Pierre. You asked, and I'm just giving you the answer. Depends are not that good. They're not dependable, I'm telling you. You cannot pee in those enough. You can't. They just don't work. Come on, people. Let's get these questions going here. I want more questions. Rico Suave wrote, it's for dribbles, not floods. Thank you, Rico. Would you like to have them? Do you have a dribble problem? You sound like you speak of experience. Oh my goodness, you guys are funny. This is hilarious. I love this. This is an absolute great, for the amount of people that's on here. We got 10 people. Parking at the venue, Pierre is asking. Free parking, lots of parking. And I do mean lots of parking. That is never a problem at the Brass Monkey, 250 Greenbank Road in Ottawa. Tons of parking, and there's handicap parking there too for those who need it. It's never a problem to park there at all. Rico Suave wrote, okay. Can't even play basketball. That's a good one. Elsewhere Wind wrote, David, 53, autistic, Asperger's, PDD, having my share of varicose veins, troubles in my legs, a drummer, percussionist myself, and a player of Ludwig and Pasty, missing an autistic woman that I know. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Elsewhere. That's not fun at all. I know what that feeling is like, and it's not, it's not fun at all. So Courtney Hartwick say, professionally, I've done all choices, and she said, choice one. So she goes for the catheter. Catheter it is. You're in charge, Courtney. Pierre Lacroix said, I think it's in front of the Nepean police station. Well, it's no longer Nepean, but it is the Ottawa police station and on Greenbank. Yes, you are correct. Axel Took says, Axel Anakin says he's very proud of you, LaJohnny. Oh my goodness. Really? Darth Vader's proud of me? Holy shit, that's cool. No, he's evil. Kind of cool, but evil, right? No. In all seriousness, Took, say thank you very much. Rico Suave wrote, any of your bandmates going to come by and jam a bit? Rico, I don't have a band. Yeah. But I did ask Guinness, if you haven't heard earlier, I did ask them if musicians can come and join me on stage to play along with the tracks that I'm playing with, either guitar, bass, keyboards, vocals, whatever. Because Guinness says no jamming and no improvisations, and the tracks I play have to be recognizable songs. So I did ask them that question, and they say it takes a couple of weeks for them to get back to me. So every day I log into my Guinness account and I do ask if musicians can come on stage. I really hope they can, because I think it would be amazing if this could be like sort of an open jam with tracks, where people say, okay, I want to play along to this song, and I can have my music editor, whoever that's going to be, sit there and say, okay, well, we're going to take this track, we're going to remove whatever instrument or vocals and the drums, and then Johnny will play that, put it in the queue, and they can join me on stage, which I think would be fabulous. But again, I have to wait for Guinness to get back on that. That is a fabulous question. Elsewhen, the state of North Carolina has a legal guardianship stranglehold over her, and I've known her for 30 years. It'll be 30 years. I'm really sorry to hear that, Elsewhen. That's really tough. And Peisty, yep. We all know that Peisty, well, most of us drummers know that Peisty is pronounced Peisty. That's it's just the way it is. It is pronounced Peisty. It's an Estonian word meaning to shine. Right you are. Very right you are. Next question. Sought Legion Lot said, are you going to put the full set list that you're going to play? I will be once I complete the set list. I've actually already started working on my set list. It's going to be different, mind you. I can play a lot of stuff. So, like I said, on my YouTube channel, which is where you are now, you'll see that I go from country to funk to progressive to rock to metal to jazz fusion, soft rock and all that. So yeah, I will be posting the playlist, and if someone wants to play something and it's not on the playlist, it's just to let me know, as long as I know ahead of time while I'm playing and I could recognize the song, but I can pretty much match up to anything. So yeah, but the playlist will be put on there, and there probably will be more stuff added as we go along. That is a great question. Yes, your therapy dogs are allowed. Pierre, thank you. Very good question, because Ability Dogs Canada will be there too, and they're all working dogs. So working dogs they're allowed anywhere in Ontario. That is the law. And being that they are a bar, they're not a restaurant either. It's pretty easy. I don't see any issues with that. So that is a really good question. Rico Suave asked me, how do you say Zildjian? Honestly, I don't know. It's Zildjian. Zildjian. That's exactly what it is. There's no other way to pronounce it but Zildjian. Pretty basic, pretty simple. It is a Turkish name, which means son of a cymbal maker, which was bestowed on Avedis Zildjian back in the 17th century Constantinople, because Avedis was making cymbals for the king's army and the king's orchestra, and the king liked what he heard, and because he learned his craft from his father, he was bestowed with the name Avedis Zildjian, which means son of a cymbal maker. So Sot says, just saying, if Guinness say yes for like a guitar player can join, so we can prepare to make sure that you're up to it. Absolutely, Sot. That is my plan. I would absolutely love to have musicians join me to play along with tracks. That would make it all the more much fun. a lot more energy. It would help keep me a little sharper to keep me awake and stuff like that. That is an absolutely amazing question. And I really hope Guinness says yes to this because it would just add to the ambiance, right? Where musicians come in whatever time of day and say, "Yeah, I'm going to play this tune with him," and it's set up, and we just do it, right? I think it would be really fun. It would bring more people in and just make it that much more interactive. Thank you. Elsewhere says her name is Channing. Sure, others may tell me to find another autistic woman, but Channing, I have to say that the mold has been broken. Again, Elsewin, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope that you can get through this difficult time. Um, are there any other questions as per this? We have been on now for 50 minutes. I got 10 minutes left, and I really want some really good questions, and I want to know what you want to see in the next live feed, which I plan to do probably next week, in a week from now. Pierre Lacroix, I like the knowledge you're giving us. Also, Roxanne was your good pick of choice. Thank you very much, Pierre. I appreciate that. Anyone else? If not, I'm just going to start talking here and it's not going to be fun. Like, you guys might not like me. I'm autistic and I can dive into any sort of subjects. So, Tukes wrote, will you play French and English songs and sing along to it? Absolutely. If I'm allowed to sing along to them, like I did with J'entends frapper, and I'm sure that's what you're referring to, is the video I posted earlier. Absolutely. If Guinness allows me to, I will do so. Absolutely, because I am a francophone, so I am Franco-Ontarian. So yes, I'm proud of my French and English heritage. I get, nothing against either side. I'm French, I'm English, and I speak drum, and I speak autism. Pierre Lacroix, any gears in drum set? Oh, grease fittings. He replied, grease fittings. Nope, this drum set has absolutely zero grease fittings. It gets greased up with my sweat when I play. How's that? You like that one? Who else? So Rico Suave wrote, or he asked, tell us the stories of how and why your kit is what it is. That's a good question. Pierre said I better find grease fittings in my joints. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna need some lube in my joints. Rico, the story about how my drum kit came to be what it is. Well, I was 12 years old when I started to play drums. I have always been fascinated by drummers from a very young age. And I have to say that I remember in my younger years, before I played drums, my mom was a huge music fan. She was an amazing singer. Just so you know, she passed away in 2018. So my mother was an awesome vocalist. She loved to sing and she loved everything music. She had albums, everything from the J Gals band to Journey to Rush to Conway Twitty, all everything. She loved rock. She loved heavy rock like Van Halen. She even liked Quiet Riot. She loved Conway Twitty. She liked Stompin' Tom Commerce. She was into country western, the French stuff, Marie King, Nuance, all those bands. Anyways, so I was raised in a lot of music, but one of her bands that she liked to watch on what we called Much Music back then. She would watch that a lot, and we watched videos. And I remember seeing Peter Criss back in the very early 80s. in the video of the Kiss video of I Was Made for Loving You. The Pearl drum kit he had then was a Pearl professional drum kit with no bottom heads. It had the two bass drums. It had the four rack toms and the floor toms and a few cymbals, and that kind of stuck with me. And I said, "Man, I love his setup. I love the way this guy plays. It just got to me." And then I got into some Quiet Riot, and they had a big kit as well. And then when I started playing when I was 12 and got into some Rush, my mom played a record on her big stereo back then. And the first song I heard from Rush when I was 12 years old was Limelight. I immediately fell in love with that and started watching videos, on TV. And as soon as Rush would come on, I would be like this to the TV, just like, I want to watch this guy drum because he's fucking amazing. And I looked at his drum kit and like, holy crap, he's playing every one of those drums and they each mean something. They each have a sound. So to me, it was like a guitarist where every string has something, right? And I got into the rock progressive music, into heavy stuff, and some Metallica and some Judas Priest and all that. And they all had big drum kits because they played those kits well. They weren't just now nothing against a smaller kit because I can do as much on a small kit as I can on a big kit. But to me, it's like saying, well, I'm taking three strings off the guitar, removing some of the notes. But anyways, that aside, I was influenced by that. And when I started building my first big drum kit, which would have been back in the, oh my god, mid 90s, I would say, I said I want a kit where I have a lot of different drums with different sounds, so that I can really make my own style and be who I am and put all my different influences together. I was a fan of Gene Krupa, Ginger Baker, Stuart Copeland, Neil Peart, obviously. Like these were all amazing drummers, right? And I wanted to put my influence together, but because there's so many different sounds and all those different influences, I needed a big kit. And that's why I built a big kit because I like to have the different sounds and I want to play all the drums. So I don't just have a big kit for show. I actually play every fucking one of those drums and I make sure that they're heard because to me it's important, that I'm playing this as a musical instrument. It's not just something I'm hitting. Each drum has a sound. And as you see, well, back here is we've got I've got three racks full of snare drums, and they're all different of them. So far, I've only got I believe I'm up to 16 snare drums. Um, but each snare drum to me has its own voice, right? So to me, the snare drums on my drum kit are like a guitarist where they have multiple guitars and they're all different or different amplifiers, different pedals. To me, that's what a snare drum is. But as well as my drum kit, each drum has its own sound and I just love it. I played on a Pearl Masters Maple before, and then eventually I switched over to, it's kind of hard to explain this, but I went to the VBX Birch, which is what I have now, because I preferred the sound of the Birch shells. They had a little more projection, not as much bottom end, except for those bass drums. They are just boomy as all hell, and especially with the heads that I have on them. But the toms just gave me that projection where a light tap on them and I got this really nice projection out of them. And depending on what head combination I use, I get different sounds out of them. And that's what it is with every drum. So yeah, I love my kit. I've been playing this type of setup for oh, 30 plus years now. Even in high school, I took the two 5-piece drum kits and put them together and tuned them up properly because even though one was a Ludwig and one was the Pearl, but I tuned them properly because I was doing the double bass stuff and I was doing all the toms and all that before that. So I hope that answers your question. And that is a really good question. I appreciate that question, that you're in depth with that. Thank you. Tukes wrote, if we could get Carol Ann King to come out, would be amazing, a tribute to your mother. If Carol Ann King came out, which is Mary King's daughter, yeah. And Bob King is a drummer too, by the way. If you didn't know that, he played with Neuhaus. My mom was asked to play with Neuhaus, believe it or not. This is not a joke. She declined because she was raising me on her own. So there, how's that? Slightly Durant said, gotta go to work. Thank you for this live. Very cool. We'll support you 100%. Merci, mon ami. Thank you so much, Sot. Thank you for your service. It is amazing, and I appreciate your support. I hope you pass it on because we need more and more. Rico Suave just wrote, oh, you should do a cat face a la Peter Chris for the record attempt. Well, you know what? Cool. That's kind of cool, but two things. Number one is makeup running into my eyes after, so many of those hours wouldn't be cool. Number two is, you know what? I'm my own drummer. I am not Ginger Baker. I'm not Peter Chris. I'm not Neil Peart. I'm not Mike Portnoy. I'm not Phil Collins. I am me. I'm a mix of all the different influences and came out with who I am. And I like to identify that as me. That's why I'm Aspie Drummer for Asperger's, but this is who I am. But you know what? It's still funny. Hey, you know what? How about this? I'll do you one better. Here, Rico, how about this? I will do something for you. Do you like AC/DC, Rico? Okay, let's do this. Here. I will wear this while we're playing the song Big Balls by AC/DC. How's that? Are you happy with that? I hope that does you well. That's just, oh, you guys are crazy, man. I love it. You guys are right. Pierre said, you're not wearing your wig. Well, the wig is over there. Hey, Rico Suave wrote, perfect. There you go, Rico. I'm glad I could make you happy. That's a good thing. Listen, you know what? It's been a great first live thing. Before I shut down, and I want to thank everyone, but do we have any other questions? And what would you like to see in our next live stream? I want to know what you want to see. Please let me know in the next couple of minutes what you would like to see or talk about in the next broadcast, because this is about raising awareness of autism and also raising funds for Ability Dogs Canada and breaking a world record. So I want to know what you would think would make a really good live broadcast next time. I await your answers. Let's see what we got. Doom, 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 da, doom, da, doom, da, 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 da. Oh, you all lose. That's it. That's it. You're done. Just kidding. Listen, this was an amazing, amazing live broadcast. I'm gonna have to look at the time zones. I think that YouTube has the time zones a little bit messed up, so I'm gonna look into that for the next one, and we'll go from there. But I want to say thank you to everyone who asked the questions. And if you have any other questions, you know what? Write them down and save them for next time, because every live cast that we're going to do and all that, we want to be open to questions no matter what they are. It's really important. You guys really, really asked some amazing questions, and I really appreciate that very much. It's nice to see that you're supporting us. This was better than I expected it to be. It was a lot of fun. I actually had, a lot of fun doing this, and I hope to have more fun next time. So it has currently been 1 hour and 4 minutes since I'm on. And you know what? I am going to say good night. I thank you all for watching. This video will be posted on my YouTube channel. Please do spread the word. Share this video. I want us to get the word out there. This is a Guinness World Record breaking event for a good cause. It is important that we get that out there. We want to raise as much funds as possible for Ability Dogs Canada, but I also want to raise awareness of autism because it is extremely important that we do both of these because you know what? This is my life's biggest challenge. It truly is. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not looking for it, and I'm prepping for it. So, thank you very much, everyone. I wish you all an amazing evening. And you know what? You all rock. Thank you so very much. We'll see you on our next live streaming, and stay tuned on my channel. I will prep that for some time in the next few days, probably by next week. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching.